Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Joe Milton's parting gift royally screwed Patriots before trade to Cowboys. The New England Patriots almost had their pick of the litter in the 2025 NFL Draft. They were in perfect shape going up against the Buffalo Bills in Week 18, and all they needed to do was lose one more game, and they would have controlled the top of the draft order. And then came Joe Milton's offensive explosion, which led us to the stunning trade that just went down between the New England Patriots and Dallas Cowboys. Milton was traded, along with a 7th-round pick, to go and be Dak Prescott's backup in Dallas for a 5th-round pick. I guess it's the least Milton could do for the Pats given the value difference between the 1st overall pick and 4th overall pick is 1,200 points on the trade value chart, or the value of the 12th overall pick. Joe Milton is trying to carve out his own career in the NFL. He played an outstanding game in the Patriots' Week 18 win over the Buffalo Bills, in which he had a whopping 14 first-down throws on 22 completions, a completion rate just under 76%, and 2 total touchdowns, 1 passing, 1 rushing. His performance in that game as well as in last year's preseason obviously made an impression on the Cowboys, who not only lost Cooper Rush in NFL free agency but decided to move on from Trey Lance as well. The Patriots have Drake May, which is certainly no consolation prize in all of this, but they could have paired May up with the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft if it weren't for Milton's unexpected offensive explosion in the final week of the 2024-25 regular season. It seemed, at least in hindsight, like former Patriots head coach Jerod Mayo knew the writing was on the wall for him and he was going to do anything in his power to stick it to the Patriots, who telegraphed their move to Mike Vrabel from the very start of the offseason. It was similar to the way Lovie Smith and the Texans went out and cost themselves the number 1 overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, though they sort of lucked into C.J. Stroud. The Patriots could have had their pick of top non-quarterbacks in this year's draft, or they could have perhaps traded the number 1 overall pick to the most QB-needy team behind them and still taken their top non-QB. But that's not happening now, thanks to Joe Milton. Of course, some of this is tongue-in-cheek. Nobody wants to see Milton fail, and he did great with his opportunity. But when it comes to building the team and the difference one pick slot can make, the butterfly effect looms large here. Commanders react to Cowboys quarterback trade. For the Washington Commanders, they were always known as a team who could never get the quarterback position right. From 2000 to 2024, the Commanders switched quarterbacks at a rate even more ridiculous than the name changes they have gone through in the last 6 years alone. Now, with Rookie of the Year phenom Jayden Daniels, the Commanders' quarterback problems are at an end. And they can finally laugh at other teams and their quarterback moves. Particularly in the NFC East this offseason. While every other team in Washington's division has made a quarterback change, 2 of them for backups, the Commanders have kept their room consistent with Marcus Mariota backing up Daniels for another season. In Philadelphia, the Eagles traded backup Kenny Pickett to give 6th-round project Tanner McKee a chance to be the immediate backup. With the Giants, New York has a new room altogether with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston as his backup. Then there are the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas traded a 5th-round pick in the upcoming draft for New England Patriots for young signal caller Joe Milton. Let's be clear, that recent trade won't be creating any quarterback controversies with the Cowboys. They will be led by Dak Prescott in 2025. What it does do, though, is open the door to scrutiny should Prescott, now 31 years old, show any signs of slowing down after a hamstring injury cost him last season. If Milton, a 6th-round project with a massive arm, shows something in Dallas training camp, a frustrated fanbase could make life hard for Prescott and the Cowboys if they don't start the new season out strong. Again, there's no quarterback controversy in Dallas, but the Milton trade, and his development, could have some Cowboys fans already on the fence about Prescott to move on completely. And all the Commanders need to do in that situation is sit back and laugh. Breaking: Cowboys trade could mean end for superstar quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys will acquire Joe Milton in a trade, which could spell bad news for superstar Dak Prescott, who came off an injury last year. According to the breaking news, the Cowboys finally found their capable backup in Milton after losing Cooper Rush to the Baltimore Ravens this offseason. There were some discussions that the team could sign Drew Lock or Jacoby Brissett, but ultimately, the Cowboys waited until it was time for a trade. Despite signing a massive extension before last season, Prescott will likely be on thin ice. While there's no indication the Cowboys would trade the quarterback, it might be a conversation in the next few years. Originally selected in the 4th round of the 2016 NFL Draft, the former Mississippi State product came into the league as an emerging quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, showing a lot of promise as a starter. After taking over Tony Romo's long-term reigns of being the starter, Prescott put on a lot of strides during his rookie season alongside former running back Ezekiel Elliott. However, the Cowboys have yet to get that playoff drought in the Prescott era, and if he suffers another injury, it might be time for the organization to move on. The veteran is not getting younger, so it's possible that a trade could be a thing for the Cowboys even if they lose in the divisional round again, and these 3 teams could pursue him. While head coach Dave Canales has faith in quarterback Bryce Young again, it doesn't mean his job is necessarily safe. There were great strides at the end of his 2024 campaign, but it will be on him to see how he can compete for the majority of the season. The Panthers are re-signing Andy Dalton on a new deal, so the team could easily call him up for starting duties again if Young fails to deliver. However, the team does have a promising offense in pass catchers like Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker, so Young doesn't have any choice but to prove that he is the answer. Despite that, it shouldn't be surprising if the Panthers draft a quarterback this year. The same can be said about the Panthers trading for a quarterback like Prescott. He has the arm and athletic ability to get this team to at least a postseason run, something the Panthers have been struggling for the past decade. There were angry fans from New Orleans that Derek Carr is returning to the team despite general manager Mickey Loomis's excitement. Loomis refuses to rebuild and believes they could have a huge turnaround. Since that's the case, the team could trade for Prescott if he fails to meet expectations in Dallas. There were rumors the Cowboys could trade their quarterback to New Orleans, which seem likely now that Milton is in town. Prescott is the better in this situation, unlike Carr. The Saints should be in serious if Prescott lands in New Orleans. And you, fan? What do you think about Dak Prescott's situation? Write to us in the comments.